welcome back. Today I have the brilliant idea of making a vlog on how you can get beautiful exposure settings on your action camera. Exposure settings where everything looks cinematic. You get the perfect, like absolutely abysmal, beautiful exposure and that beautiful cinematic looking natural motion blur. This is peak motovlogging content. Like, people appreciate motovloggers who put in the extra mile to go to extents where they achieve such beautiful cinematic looking videos, and it's just more captivating than any other type of video quality or format. So moving on from that, there are a few things that you require to be able to produce such content. For example, of course, you need an action camera. So after your action camera has arrived, you probably have to get a few more things with it as well. If you're just comfortable with producing content as video alone, then you're more than welcome to just purchase an action camera. Whereas if you want to go a step further, I suggest you guys get a mic. So the reason I suggest you get a mic is because obviously there's going to be a lot of wind if you're going to put the action camera on the helmet, and that means your audio is going to be really, really bad, like horribly bad. You can kind of substitute by using an external mic and putting that in your backpack or like your seat, your bike seat or whatever, to capture your exhaust noise. And then sync it later on in post-processing, but that is a little bit more complicated. So just to keep it simple for this video, I'm just going to give you guys a basic, very clear idea of about how you can get such beautiful, nice looking shots without breaking your bank too much. Of course you can use these settings on any camera, because of course settings are a universal thing. And when I say you can use it on any camera, it usually works best on a camera with an ND filter. The ND filter is the most crucial part here. If you do not have an ND filter, it will not work during daytime. Anyways, so the way this is achieved is by kind of making your frame rate half of what your shutter speed is going to be. So to put it in simple words, the shutter speed is how long your shutter in your camera is going to be open for before it captures a picture. And a video is just a sequence of pictures put together. So that's pretty much what this is. And the way I record in 24 frames per second. So if I record in 24 FPS, I would require my shutter speed to be 1/48 or 1/50. Since the DJI Action 4 does not have a 1/48 shutter, I keep it at 1/50 and it works just as well. So since we've gotten that cleared off, and now we have to move on to our ISO. Since we're going to be going through a lot of areas where there's going to be a lot of shade, like for example here, and you still want to get nice good exposure and details in the shadows as well, I would suggest you guys go ahead and keep your lowest ISO. I would suggest that you guys go ahead and put your lowest ISO at 100 and your highest ISO at either 800 or 1600 depending on your route. If you have a variable route that you don't have any idea about whoops, misgauge that. So if you guys aren't very clear about how your route is going to be and where you're going to face a lot of shadows and stuff like that, I would suggest you guys go for a 1600 ISO, since even if there's going to be a lot of dark spots in your ride, then I feel like it will manage itself. The camera will take care of it by itself. Anyways, so that's the ISO. Now, to keep it like straight to the point, your shutter is going to be 1/48. That is twice your frame rate. So if your frame rate is 30 fps, then you're going to keep your shutter at 1/60. If your frame rate is 120, it's going to be 240, and 240 is going to be 480, and so on and so forth. So that's the key over here. But the lower the frame rate and the lower the shutter speed, the better the motion blur you get. That does not mean that if you keep it at 12 fps and you get it at 24, 1/24 shutter speed, it's going to be beautiful. It is going to have a lot of shakes and whatnot, so I would suggest you guys keep it at 24 fps 1/48. That's the best you can get it at. So, moving on from the settings, the system in your camera may or may not have a D-log setting. A D-log setting is basically something that helps you capture video in a very flat format. That means that your video is going to look extremely flat. There's not going to be a lot of saturation or contrast / colors to it, and there's going to be an insane amount of dynamic range and detail in the shadows and stuff like that. So I usually record in D-Log 10-bit on the DJI Action 4, and I later on add a LUT over and grade it in post-processing. So that is typically what I would suggest people do, but if you do not have that option, you are more than welcome to record in standard format and use the video directly without putting it into any post-processing for color correction or color grading. Right, so ND filters. The point of using an ND filter is to make sure that your picture doesn't get overexposed. The whole point of using an ND filter is that you make sure that, you know, if you're recording in 24 fps 1/48 and these settings, and without using an ND filter I record, it is going to turn out so blown out. Like the highlights are going to be so blown out, the shadows are going to be there. Yeah, so it's not going to be as well viewable as with an ND filter. So I would highly suggest that everybody, if you're planning on getting action camera and you want to get you know, such cinematic looking videos and vlogs and stuff like this, I would highly suggest that you guys get ND filter. So I will specify whatever I'm using right now. I'm currently using DJI Action 4 Adventure combo, and along with that I'm using the KNF Kent Faith ND filters. The Kent Faith ND filters that are, I think, ND8, ND16, ND32 and ND64. Not once have I come across a time where I required an ND64 for, you know, daily vlogging. Mostly I just end up using ND8 and ND16. So that's that. Then you would also require a mic if you're going to motovlog, and there are two things that you need when it comes to a mic. One is an adapter that converts the digital to audio signals. So that is kind of like a DAC, but then it's not exactly a DAC. So mine is from Boya, and it is well necessary to be able to record your audio. The second thing is that you require a mic, and the mic over here I'm using is the Sony Lav mic from Amazon. I'll drop all the links in the comment section or description, wherever, and you guys can check it out. This is all my settings. These are what I'm using. I can specify a few more. If you want me to go a little bit more in depth, I can. And it's a very short video. I just wanted to keep it as short as possible and make sure that nobody gets any confusion later on in the future when it comes to settings like this and being able to achieve such cinematic looking videos and so on. So yeah, I am done for the day, and you guys take care, ride safe, have a great day.